Hi everyone, welcome. In this video, I'm gonna walk you through top 10 AWS services which I think you must know. So this is based on my experience as a cloud engineer, a platform engineer, and as a DevOps engineer. Okay, so based on my experience, so in no particular order, I think the resources we're gonna go through is a must know. These are the top 10 based on my experience. So as an engineer, it can be sometimes overwhelming to learn so many AWS resources, but you need to know which ones that are a must, okay, which ones that are crucial, those ones that are important, and going forward, you'll be able to support your company and also be relevant in the job market. So it can be sometimes daunting because we have over 200 AWS services, okay, globally, okay. So knowing what to learn at what point in time and how these resources interact with each other is very, very crucial going forward, okay. So let's go through those services. So I have here, so it's in no particular order. The order is not relevant here. Okay, we have here EC2, Elastic Compute Cloud. So if you have watched my videos previously, I have done a video about how to create EC2, how to manage it, and dive into the concept of this. Okay, so on a higher level, this is a virtual machine in the cloud. Okay, by that, it gives you the flexibility to have what we call on demand pricing. Okay, it's like pay as you go, and I can guarantee you 10 out of 10 in your career, you will be interacting with this. So you use this, okay, you can use it as a host, okay, to host your applications, okay, as a bastion host. If you want to connect to your database in a private subnet, you can use it as a jump host. So many things that we can use EC2 going forward, okay. Behind the scene, EC2 can also be used as what we call ECS compute. By that, when you are running microservices like EKS and ECS, okay, the underlying hardware can run on what we call EC2. So having understanding of the component of these resources is highly, highly recommended. Okay, so EC2 is one of the services you need to know. The second one, again in no particular order, is S3. So simple storage services. Again, I've done an in-depth video about these services, and I think again it's one of the oldest services. You need to understand this. 10 out of 10, I can guarantee you you'll be working in and around of this. Okay, what does it do? So this is like a container where you put anything like your file, your document, your video recording, voice recording, any data you can just dump into this. I would say it's like a bottomless pit. Okay, and gives you that durability, availability, redundancy across all your AWS account. Okay, so to that end, it's highly important that you capture the concept. If you want to know more, I have done a full video covering every little things about S3. Okay, so that is also a must know, and I can guarantee you, you will be working around S3. So get your concept and your practicals right on these services. Okay. So next one is RDS. So this is more of what we call databases. Under the databases, we need to understand what we call the relational databases. Okay. So under the databases, you have so many engines you can think of. Okay. You can think of AWS Aurora. In that, you can think of the Postgres. You can think of the MySQLs in that. So these are the engines you need to know. So when you have a good understanding of the DB, again, I have a video of how you can spin up a RDS and how to connect to it when it's even a private subnet. Okay, remember it's a database, we need to secure it. We need to keep it safe in a private, subnet. Okay, so I've done a video. So remember, this is a managed database. You do not need to manage the underlying hardware. AWS you do everything for you. All you need to do, understand the mechanics, how it works, how they are connected to each other, and how you can use these resources going forward. Okay, happy so far. The next one, again in no particular order. So this is what we call, it is a serverless. By that, you don't need to manage your underlying hardware. By the hardware, I mean the compute, the EC2 stuff. You don't need to manage this. So AWS has abstracted that from you. All you need to do is to concentrate on building your code, and just the code will be executed on that machine, okay, which you don't have to manage that. Okay, so the maximum execution, I think, is 15 minutes. Okay, so if anything is longer than that, then this Lambda is not the best option. But if you want to concentrate on running your code, which is a short-lived maximum 15 minutes, you need what we call Lambda. Okay, again, you need to understand this going forward as a serverless option for your compute services. Okay, next one is content delivery and networking. So in this, we have CloudFront, and I'll say the Route 53. So the CloudFront will give you how you can deliver your content at what we say closer to your users. Say, let's say you have your users, majority of them in, let's say, Africa or EU. You can deploy your resources, okay, and have edge location around the globe. And this is what CloudFront will give you. You can put it in front of your services, like say S3, your static file, and then it will push out all your files around your edge location so that your users, okay, or your client can have easy access to your resources, and that will give you, you know, easy, quick access to it. Okay, so you will not have issues. The next one is the Route 53. Again, this is how you create your hosted zone. This will give you opportunity to create your hosted zone, create a record to map to your either your load balancers, and you can also have a routing inside your Route 53. Again, I will do a separate video covering that. I think I have done a video on how to provision your Route 53 and create a record in that. Okay, so those of you who are interested, reach out to my YouTube, okay, link, and have a look through. Okay, I think this will be helpful as well. So the next one, again, is also under database, but at this point it's more of what we call not relational database. So the relational database, we've talked about it. So this one is no SQL databases. So by that, it's like a key value. It's not like a tabular form. So this is like a key value pair. Okay, so it's high performance. You need this, is quick and fast. So again, going forward, you need to have a good understanding of what we call a non-relational database, and then the most you go to is DynamoDB. Again, in no particular order, I think out of the 10, okay, VPC is one of the must know, I would say, okay, one of the top three must know, because when you deploy your resources, you need to make sure these things are isolated, these things are secure, connected in your network. Okay, by that, VPC is your own private network whereby you deploy your resources within that, and you control who should have access to what, who can connect to what. Okay, by leveraging on what we call your subnetting, your routing, your security group, your network address translation, okay, and also your VPN. Okay, so all these 10 resources will revolve around your VPC. Basically, is a network hub within your cloud. Okay, so you must know this. If you have issues or if you don't understand how VPC work, I have a separate video covering all this thing. Again, you can put a comment in there if you want me to particularly talk about any topic within the VPC. I'm happy to do that. You can also reach out to me, and I can also support you on one in your lessons. Okay, I can mentor you going forward in any areas you want to. Okay, so the next one, it is auto scaling and load balancers. Okay, so when you have created your EC2s, okay, let's say you have multiples of them, okay, these things are serving your client, okay, and let's say the traffic is going up. By that, your client are reaching out. Let's say it's Christmas or Black Friday, most customers are reaching out to your website. You don't want your website to crash, okay, you want something that will automatically, add by that, scale up and scale down, okay. By that we mean elasticity, okay. So you'll be able to grow and shrink. By that you need auto scaling. The EC2 can add more or reduce based on the load. Okay. And how is the load is distributed? Is distributed using what we call load balancer. The load balancer will receive the traffic and then point it to, or distribute it to, a healthy, more available instances or IP going forward. So again, if you want to grow in your company, okay, you need to understand auto scaling and how load balancing works. Okay. Right. Again, the next one, we are in the era of AI, so you can't do away with this. So within AWS, there are certain AI stuff you need to know. Okay. One of them is the Bedrock. So this will allow you to kind of interact with LLMs. Okay. You can have a different foundational modules to work with. Again, you can look at what we call SageMaker. So this SageMaker will also, it's like ML platform, being able to, if you are into machine learning, so this is the platform to go. The next one is what we call the pulley. So for this one in particular, it's like you want to translate a text into a speech. Yeah. So from a text, okay, you've written something down and you want to, you know make it speak as if it's human, you use this AI tool provided by AWS called pulley. Okay. The next one we can think of is the transcribe. Basically is the opposite or the reverse of the pulley. What does it do? It will allow you to, translate your audio file into text. Okay, so you have an audio and you want to translate it into text. Okay, you should leverage on Transcribe. Last but not the least is the recognition. So with this one, you're able to recognize images and photos. So it's like the computer vision services provided by AWS. Okay, so you'll be able to recognize whose face is that, or whose image is that. We use recognition on that. Okay. And then again, last one, and that is my favorite, is the anchor of it all. Okay, by that, your users need to be able to, you know, authenticate, okay, and get authorized to your AWS services and resources. Okay, by that we need to control who has access to what and what are they doing. Okay, and you can leverage on another services within IAM called multi-factor authentication. By that you want to identify, okay, if you want to log in with your username password, you need to have other stuff like what do you have. So you can use your phone, like, as an authentication method, or an app, okay, which, let's say you can use different app provided by Google or provided by Azure. You can leverage on that as well. Okay, so the IAM, this will also help you to create users group policy. So it can be daunting as well, so having a good grips of IAM. Okay, the reason being IAM cut across all the services. Some services will need permission policy to be able to do what they need to do. So if you don't get this, okay, your life is going to be hard for you. Okay, so I will say pay particular time to understand the concept. And again, don't just watch the video, keep practicing them. And if you have issue, you can, connect to me. Okay. So again, this is it. This is the top 10. The next video, probably I'll do the top 15 or the top 20, and probably the top 5 going forward. Okay. So in conclusion, okay, you need to master this top 10 services if you want to build your career going forward. Okay, for you to be relevant in this job market, you need to have good grips of this top 10 services. Okay, so you'll be able to make sure your company can scale, be able to have a secure platform, and again have what we call cost optimization in supporting your company going forward. So this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, please, if it helps you, comment and then subscribe, share it to whoever you think might need it going forward. Okay, and I'll see you in my next video. Happy learning. Bye bye.